I think we're going to take our goat and let him shit on certain people's desks.
It'd be like a promo thing. Yeah.
I love a place where I can, where we can talk about having a goat around, and everybody's just an automatic yes. It's a creative environment for sure.
Yeah. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Creative Businessmen. Today it's just me and Daniel. It's a real short one. We just talk about a few things that are on our minds, and I hope you guys enjoy it. It was fun. And if you liked the episode, be sure to like and subscribe. Here you go.
Think for a second.
Yeah, where were you when you were 26?
I was
26, I was still living a fake multi-million-dollar lifestyle on the way down.
Same.
By 28, I was completely fucking broke.
Really?
At 26, I was still faking it.
Yeah.
Faking everything was okay. I was smiling.
26, I was doing property management.
Yeah.
26.
I guarantee you're wealthier than I was at 26 there, Seth.
Me too. 26, I was, I had 4 kids. And I
Damn, you got it in. You must have a hog. Just a massive.
I'm not embarrassed
There is
by
a
it.
correlation, right?
Yeah, I'm not embarrassed by it. I swung it proud.
There you go.
I was a.
You just didn't swing it responsibly.
No, I didn't. No. Or the most responsibly, depending on what you're trying to get to.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's goals.
I had the 4 kids. I was wrestling and bartending full time.
At the same time.
Yeah, and I was about to move.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Well, it would turn out that no responsibility is how I usually handled my stuff.
Dictatorship style. Yeah.
A true dictatorship, yeah.
On our end,
Yeah.
like I'm a fan of yours.
Yeah, thanks.
And I don't get fanboy that often, but I am a fan of your work.
Thanks, man.
So I've been anticipating. I've been anxiously like, yeah. I've been asking. Hey, man, you think he's gonna drop it soon?
Yeah.
Not from a business standpoint, just because I wanted to watch it.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's funny, man. It's like, Neil says that we get faster as we do things more often, and it is true. But still trying to learn what we're doing, figure out what we like. And of all people, Tom Simmons calmed me down about the anxiety I was having about getting it done. And he was like, you're still building your audience. It's going to take you a while. And by the time you get to the audience, you'll have a bunch of stuff that they can go back and binge. And so there's another life to this stuff. It's not when you put it up the first time they watch it. It's when they watch it later on down the line.
So I'm extremely methodical, which can be paralyzing if you're not careful. And you have a tendency to, you probably used it to self-destruct in the past. But
all of my things for self-destruction, yeah.
But I think actually what it is you have a natural ability to identify all these things that could be issues or challenges, obstacles that you need to overcome, and you're very, very much thinking about those things. And so you are trying to shoot for perfection because you're identifying all these things you need to do, and that's awesome. But like I said, it can be paralyzing. But it's actually a really strong trait to have if you use it in a positive way.
Just have to pick your battles.
Yeah. And I say that about myself because if I let it can be very negative for me too.
Right.
I'm the same way.
Yeah. So it's a good.
Thing.
I think it's a good.
No, that's spot on.
Yeah.
It really is. Like I'm looking for all the problems up front.
Yeah.
So that I'm fine cleaning up a mess as long as I know that I did my best before the mess happened. You know what I mean?
But you're gonna dial it in. It'll take a life of its own. Your audience take a life, and then you don't even know. And I don't know. When everybody asks a teenager, or for me it was like 11, 12, 13 years old people when they started seeing I was entrepreneurial. Say 13. That what do you want to be? What do you want to be? What's such a loaded question?
Right.
You don't know. You don't know yet. You don't know what you're going to be. Right. It hasn't gotten there. And when you get there, you kind of start to dial in on what you really are. Right.
Yeah.
And you just don't know yet. So it's like this thing you're creating has a life of its own.
Yeah, man, and it's got to go through
the
different stages of life too, right? It's got to be a baby, and then it's got to grow up a little bit.
Yeah.
And you're right. I have no idea what things are. I just know I know I want to start them.
Yeah.
And I would like them to be responsible, good adults.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to do all the things while it's a baby and take care of it. So.
Yep. It's
And sometimes you have to kind of let go too, and just let your mind sort of develop the idea better.
There's there's some trust that comes from a level of confidence, and I don't have that confidence yet because I typically don't. The confidence comes later after I've proven that I could do a thing, and I think that's what makes me better. It's the same thing with like the comedy right now. I'm starting to try to figure out how to do it again.
Yeah.
And I'm seeing all of my flaws. And what's interesting is like the first time I did it, I had so little pressure because it was like everything is fun. The good stuff, the bad stuff, it's all fun, and I'm learning. And there's no pressure to be great today. And then I got what I thought was really good, and now I'm starting over from a perspective of I don't know how to do it anymore, but now my expectations are higher than they were the first time because I know I can be
Higher
good.
standard.
Yeah,
That's also how you get a new level, though.
I think so.
Yeah, it's true. It's funny with art, any kind of art. It's like when you first start a new creative project, it's almost like a form of delusion.
Yeah.
And you want to keep doing it and get really good at it so people don't think you're delusional. So you're not just fucking crazy. It's like,
You're going to love this shit, I promise.
Yeah,
it's like
One day.
You're crazy until you're not, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's so true, man. Yeah.
It's funny. It's a weird thing.
Eric's like, he's like, where he's trying to think of stuff, so it's like not really perfectionist, but just right. And I'm like, oh yeah, we can train a goat to do this in like a week. It'll be fine. And then like I don't think of how hard.
Wait, I got to ask, is there a
be.
goat that we've trained to do something?
No, but
Not
I mean,
yet.
it's on the table.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Do you have a goat,
It's
or
on
do
the
I
list.
need to find one?
I
Because I'm sure I can buy like a cute ass goat somewhere.
I would love to. You see, that's where my thoughts go. It's
See,
like,
me and you are a problem because I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
I'm like, let's do it, but let's do it correctly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm like, what if we can find a goat that's already trained and we can just have a goat for a day?
It just can't shit in the studio. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Well, I know a place that can shit though. And I've got a couple ideas.
We can figure it out.
I've got one.
Buy some
You've heard
tarps.
of mailing people bags of shit, right? Like elephant manure or something like that.
Yeah.
Bag of dicks, things like that. So I think we're gonna take our goat and let him shit on certain people's desks.
It'd be like a promo thing. Yeah.
I love a place where I can where we can talk about having a goat around and everybody's just an automatic yes. It's a creative environment for sure.
Yeah.
Are you guys you thinking about opening? Did you know you could find a goat because you got some goat business going on right
Shepherds,
Ah.
creative shepherds.
Oh, you
now? The
get,
creative.
Creative shepherds.
they have goat milk, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
cheese.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the what is it, the fanciful entrepreneur?
Yes.
Fanciful
So funny.
enterprisers. Yeah.
Fanciful,
Brilliant,
have you seen
man.
That yet?
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
What is it? What am I talking about?
Oh, we need to.
It's a puppet clip from.
Can you throw it up on the
latest
TV up
episode.
there?
Yeah.
First stand-up I did was in like an open mic at college. It was a mixed mic, and the person who went up before me played the ukulele for like an hour badly, very bad. It was just like, I get up, I do my whatever 2 minutes that I had, get nothing, absolutely nothing. And as I'm walking back, the ukulele guy like stops me, grabs my arm, and he goes, "Hey, at least you tried." And I was like, you just did nothing for an hour. And now you're telling me at least I tried?
That's funny.
Well, I mean, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong.
Was he the host of the mic?
No. But the host of the mic did
he
say,
was the mayor. That's why he got an hour.
the host of the mic did say comedy stylings before me. He was like, here's the comedy stylings. And I was like, I don't know when that stopped.
Are you not
He
a
said-
vaudeville act?
Exactly. But we need to bring back people introducing for their comedy stylings.
Right.
This tidbit from the Fanciful Enterprisers is sponsored by lead. Remember, kiddies, don't forget to drink your lead.
That's
It's
amazing.
dumb.
I did. No, I like it though.
That's
I did
great,
remember you
man.
showing me that. I do like that a lot.
I want to get now. I want to get a Fanciful Enterprisers T-shirt.
Yeah, we'll have
Let's
we'll
do
have
it.
some made. Yeah.
Let's do it. We got some pretty cool. Some of our other businesses. We've got some because I'm real big. So like the way you are about like your production,
Yeah.
I am about like if I'm gonna do it, I want it to be something that I
Yes.
would like. If it's clothes, I want it to be something I would actually wear.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the quality, the material, everything.
Hell yeah.
I want but we got some really high quality hats and
Hell yeah.
swag and other stuff. So we definitely need to do that.
It's the worst thing when you go to a concert and you have a really good band. They have shitty T-shirts. It's like, why would you have these
Yeah.
garbage T-shirts?
I
that
would
nobody's
rather
gonna
make
wear?
$0 and put quality out. I'm
I will
lit up.
I
over
will
here.
buy if the quality is good and I don't enjoy the thing that it represents,
Right.
I will still buy the T-shirt. I'd rather have that T-shirt than a shitty T-shirt or something I enjoy.
Yeah,
a lot.
absolutely.
I go down to downtown and I see like these local rap artists, whatever, and like they have a good T-shirt. I fucking buy it.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit what the CD is.
Is that Mike in the shot?
It
I
is now, yeah.
did move it in there.
So, hey, there's a mic right there. Right there.
Put it right in front of Neil's face.
That's hilarious.
Hey,
Well, fellas, we have 3 minutes. So.
I did want to say one thing today about oil prices.
Yes.
So I was curious about, how real the price increases are on the oil, on gas.
Yeah.
And I looked up the profits, or the projected profits this year for ExxonMobil. It's $40-some billion, just double last year. So there's not an oil shortage or some type of inflation issue. It's just price gouging.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, let me.
Pretty much.
And that's their net.
Well, let me add on the profit that they're not disclosing, right? That's not so obvious. Go look at all oil stocks and all gas companies, right? They're through the roof.
Yeah.
So what you're also missing too is they are, when everybody else is being cut, when the market itself is being cut, and certain parts of crypto are down since last September, I think like 60%, right? The big ones. And you're looking at the stock market. They haven't called it a recession yet, I don't believe, but it's definitely going to be a recession. And it may turn into a depression, to be honest with you. I think we're at 22% off this year. So if you start to look at all these things, but then look at the oil companies, their stocks, some of them are going up.
They're killing it, yeah.
They're doing
And I
very
wonder
well.
how many of our
And that's not the oil company's
legislators-
fault. I'm just saying
It's a byproduct.
it's a byproduct, but that is also, like, if you think about it, a ton of money is flowing into these companies now.
Yeah.
And as people panic sell, I'm also seeing people take and panic sell and sell a loss and put their money into these oil companies.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting shift in I don't know.
I'd like to see how much money the legislators have invested in the oil companies.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Because
Isn't
it's a conflict.
There's a way you could find that out, right?
Oh,
Is
yeah,
that-
absolutely. It's all
Yeah,
public.
you
Yeah,
can find it.
100%.
Yeah.
They have a certain disclosure window, but I got to go back and find this just because I think it'd be a cool clip, Seth. But I think we started in 2020, in March of 2020, right?
Yep.
Yep.
I'm almost positive within the first month of our episodes that I said something about the economy, probably in, I can't remember if I said 2022 or.
We've been talking about it for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there are probably 7 or 8 or a dozen times over the last, 2 years that I've said some version of, and it's, and Neil and I were talking about this the other day, it's not that I knew what thing was going to be. It's just the culmination of all these things, right? The camel's back was already broken. It's that final straw that'll get the credit, right? And the credit is really going to be the political parties blaming each other.
Right.
Which is absolutely irrelevant. It's all these things in culmination, right? But it's really interesting to see that exactly what a lot of people have been talking about for 2 or 3 years has actually come true.
Yeah.
The difference is everybody thinks this just happened and they're surprised,
Right.
which makes no sense to
It's
me.
always
Well,
wild how that is how it goes. Right?
Well,
It's
and
like
makes
the day it
absolutely no
happens.
sense to me.
That's the professional wrestling component. Let's
Yeah.
let's act like we're fighting with each other so we can get everybody confused and do what we want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
we've been talking about this, right?
Yep.
And it's happening and the people are panicking.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
So
Saw it
before we wrap up, because it's 12:30, but
Yeah.
So when you 2 years ago you start talking about these things and you see them, is this a thing that in the back of your mind you start preparing for subtly?
absolutely, yeah.
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 Was it?
Everything's on sale now, and I'm going to be straight with you. And who knows? But I don't think it's done. Let me tell you, how can it possibly be done? How can we be at the bottom when and the Fed just is announcing more rates as we speak? But listen, if inflation's 8 and 9 and 10%, the Fed playbook is that you have to raise interest rates to meet inflation. Right? We have to continue to raise until we see inflation go down. Right?
Yeah.
We got another, I'm going to say 12, 18 months of shit to
At least.
weather.
At least.
Yeah, and you're going to see further losses. You got to, because the stock market is pricing in the increased interest rate, but they've only priced in a certain part of it. So this is not the bottom. Now, trying to guess where the stock market bottom is about as smart as catching a falling knife. But at the same point, there's no way this is the bottom. So, but we're down. Some of these are record lows. Some of these stocks are record lows back to like 2 2015, 16, 17, some are down to back a decade ago. But what you can do is start dollar cost averaging in. Since everything's so far down, we don't know where the bottom is. But if you had $10,000, let's say, to invest, and this is above and beyond your emergency fund, and just being able to operate and live your life and feed your family, right? But if you had just $10,000 extra, I wouldn't dump all $10,000 in this week. Maybe you start dollar cost averaging in. Maybe you're doing $500 a week over the next 20 weeks.
When you say there's 12 to 18 more months that we have to weather, what does that entail? What does that mean?
Well, so
it just means we're
Fed's
gonna hit some dips?
The Fed's going to take small movements, right? So essentially, what's going on is we've dumped all this money into the economy. We kept interest rates really low. We did all these different things. There's a ton of things, right, that all led to these different factors, right? And now inflation is running rampant, and so the Feds are going to raise the interest rates to help combat inflation.
Yeah,
and so as the Fed does this, you'll see the stock market start to adjust. And think about this for just a second. So let's say a $1 million house at the beginning of this year was $5,000 a month, the mortgage, okay? That same $1 million house today would probably be $7,000 a month, right? Now, what that means is for you to buy the exact same $1 million house and get a $5,000 mortgage, the price would have to drop. Let's say $725, right? So what you're going to see at some point is you're going to see that prices have to drop because the lion's share of all Americans are payments. They live their lives based on payments, on debt.
Right.
They're not paying cash. So they still are going to buy the $1 million house, but it's got to come down. The overall value's got to come down. The payment's going to stay the same. They're going to have the same payment on $725 that they had at $1 million. And that's where you're going to start to see. And, we've got this other housing shortage thing going on as well. So it may stagnate a little bit more.
That may bring some of the housing prices down.
It's going to have to bring it.
And hopefully some of the rents will drop a little bit too.
I think rents are going to go through the roof.
Yeah, but I mean, I think there's got to be a breaking point though, right? I think they'll push it as far as they can, but it's going to be more of the big corporate conglomerates that are pushing the rents up.
I'm going to go out there and say that we're going to fast forward a year from now, and you're going to see rents went up 15%. From where we are today.
I believe you, yeah. I think that's one thing people need to be aware of, too, in times like this, when the cost of living goes up so drastically, but wages aren't really changing, you're going to see crime rates go up because people are desperate. So be really careful when you're out and about, especially shopping and stuff, because there'll be a lot of robberies.
So real quick, things to do. We got seconds left.
Yes. Yeah.
Minus seconds.
Ready. I think.
Invest in oil.
One, it's hard to say. You need to make sure your family's fed, right? Roof over your head. Above and beyond those things, you need some type of emergency fund. I don't think right now is the time to take that emergency fund and pay off debt because you're going to need liquidity just in case, because you just got to plan for the unexpected. If you've got above and beyond the emergency fund, I think find a way to dollar cost average into the market. Obviously, everything's on sale, but again, if you had $10,000, don't buy $10,000 today. Right. Maybe pick $500 across the next 20 weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know when the bottom is, but I do think we got a problem for the next 12 to 18 months. And at minimum to next spring, right? We might see things uptick after the election, after all this other stuff going on.
Fuel prices will drop in the fall.
Yeah,
because the oil companies will gouge you through the summer.
It's going to go up because of the travel. I mean, it's coming. Yeah. It's going to be even higher here soon.
Yeah.
So aside from that, if you can, if you're buying a home forever, buy it today. It doesn't matter. You're going to go, wait 6 months, the price is going to be down. Yeah, but the interest rates are going to be up.
Right.
So you're paying the same. It's the same monthly pay. If you're financing a house, it's the same payment, right? I'd rather, if you have the forever home that you're going to be in for 30 years and you love it, I'd buy it today. If you're going to be in it forever, there's no reason to wait. And you're going to go, I could have saved $50,000 by waiting 4 months. You're not, because the payment's going to be exactly the same because interest rates are going to be up 4 months.
And the money's worth less.
And the money's worth less. So, I think make long-term decisions. I think keep an emergency fund. Make sure you've got money. Make sure you're stocked up on things. And then prepare mentally because, as we've been saying for a long time.
So you see with the recession coming, do you see somewhat of a panic freak out?
Oh, absolutely. It's already started.
Okay.
Yeah.
Suicides are up. People are panic selling. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff. And listen, if you made a bad financial decision and you invested in certain cryptos or certain things, I'm not telling you to ride it to zero.
Right.
Right. If you have the ability to hold on to stocks and or crypto, whatever it is, and you feel like you see some long-term value, even if it let's say if it took 10 years for your money to get back to where it was, and that's perfectly fine with you, then hold your position.
As long as you can hold on to it. Yeah.
As long as you can hold on to it. But if you can't pay your mortgage payment next month, and you already project out, you already know that you're going to have a shortfall, you need take your loss, liquidate your positions, make sure because the first thing you got to do is make sure you can take care of your family.
Yes.
Right. Keep the roof over your head. Make sure you can support your lifestyle. Anything that you can. This is a good opportunity. Anything that you can sell. Anything that you can liquidate. Anything that's like the extra stuff. If you want to get rid of, now's a great time to do that.
You
too.
can always replace it in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Cars are still through the roof. There's so many things that are bringing the world. So it's still a great time to unload used items because there is an inventory. There is a supply and demand issue still.
Yeah, maybe ration a little bit of food and maybe some paper goods too.
Yep.
So I know you guys got to go, but
I'm going shopping. I'm going to tell you. So I mean, Neil and I've got a.
You've talked about this in the past.
Yeah, 100%.
Everybody else is selling. You're buying.
Yeah. I got a property. We're closing another property on Friday. Actually, I'll be in Florida closing another property. So, and then we got another one a couple months after that, and then I'm certain. I mean, as things fall, this is when. Everybody talks about it, but this is when you got to be on the hunt. This is the opportunity, and you got to be able to take that opportunity and then wait. It's not an opportunity necessarily today because you have to wait for everything to recover.
2 or 3 years.
But in a couple of years, you would look really smart in a couple of years.
So I know I kept you guys 7 or 8 minutes longer than we had thought. How does this affect what we've seen over since the pandemic as far as employment, the mass
layoffs. You got all these people. So you had this max exodus in work, right, where people left, and we couldn't get them back to work.
Right.
I think you have this interesting thing going to happen. People are going to go broke, and they're going to be looking for jobs, and now
there's no jobs.
There's no jobs.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very, very interesting. I think there's going to be a big pain. I'm going to say, I don't know what the legal technical definition of a what's the word? Of a crash of
like a recession.
Yeah, no, it's already gonna be a recession. A depression. I think we hit a depression.
Maybe one positive thing is that there is some manufacturing coming back to the United States, so that could offset some of it over the next couple of years.
I'd be curious to see. We always talk about historically what the depression has looked like in this country and all that, and now with that depression. Plus social media and the internet, I wonder what it looks like with mass communication and how it changes.
It's gonna be interesting,
because now the opportunity for businesses to stay in touch with people across the country and not just go down because of their local customer base.
There's some other problems though. So if a dollar gets too inflated, right, a dollar becomes too valuable. It's a problem for selling things outside the country. If a dollar gets too deflated, it stops being the world currency. So there's a lot of balancing act taking place.
Well, we're losing a lot because of the petrodollar change and stuff too.
Yep. So there's a lot of
it's gonna really
factors.
Hurt us.
I think it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be a little bit of a scary time for some people, but it's going to be rocky for sure. And,
well, we got a meeting in 5 minutes.
Yeah. We got.
All right, you guys, get the fuck out of here.
Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. It was a short one. Be sure to like and subscribe.
Yeah.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Bye, guys.
Maybe we add some more later.